I'm going to show you how to make shadow catchers inside of Modo so that when you bring your item into Colorway, you get these nice translucent shadows with a nice blurry effect, and you can layer items on top of each other without having to worry about image-based shadows created in something like Photoshop. You can see as I move the object around, the shadow maintains its position. So I'll show you how to make that in Modo. Open a new scene. Let's add a sphere. So I've just held down the Shift key and pressed the sphere button in Basic. With the W key, I can position the sphere. And then I'm going to make a new mesh, and I'm going to rename that and call it Shadow. I'll just reposition that mesh and then go over to the Render Preview tab, or I've actually created my own tab here called Colorway, which you can press Render as well. You can see here I've got a shadow, and what I want to do is make that shadow a bit softer. So I go down here to my shader stack and click on the directional light. Go to the spread angle, and let's make it 15 degrees. And you can see the blur effect on the screen there. I can make it more or less blurry by changing the spread angle as I see fit. Now up here on my sphere, I want to press the M key and make a material for that. And I also want to press the M key on the shadow, and let's call that, let's call it Shadow Catcher. Now inside the shadow catcher, I need to add a shader. So I go to Add Layer and click Shader. And then I want to move that whole shadow catcher above the base shader. Now with this shader here, I need to go to Alpha Type and click Shadow Catcher. On my directional light, you can see that the shadow color is black. And it's 100% black. So that means if I bring it into Colorway, it's going to be solid. And we don't want a solid shadow. We want something a little bit more transparent or translucent. So I'm going to make it a dark gray, or I can make it a mid gray, but let's keep it as a dark gray. So I just click on the shadow color. I just move my slider along to the color I want. Now I click on my environment group and make the environment invisible to camera. So just press the visible to camera button there. And you can see my a scene now has a black background. You can also see in my Colorway tab, and you can get the Colorway tab if you don't already have it, by going to Application, Custom View, and Colorway. You can see that I've got two parts. One is my shadow catcher and one is my sphere. So I'm tagging my sphere. I can tag my shadow catcher, but I don't need to because I don't want to edit it inside of Colorway. I just want to see it. Click on my lights and I tag them all, and I tag all my environments. And then I can render it. And Colorway will tell me that I'm rendering one material, one light, and one environment. Now back in Colorway, I press the I for insert, locate my new item, and you can see the sphere has a nice translucent shadow. And that's how you make the perfect shadow catcher for Colorway inside of Modo.